What's up?
So I went and saw the movie DUNE on the weekend. I even paid gold class to go see this movie. And I was pretty stoked to see this movie. I thought it was, obviously it's a gaming channel. I love games. And this is a movie, probably books converted into games. And, it's pretty relevant, I thought. So I'm gonna make a review on it because it really disappointed me. But firstly, I will say the acting itself was really good. Really good. And the graphics, special effects, CGI, all that sort of stuff is amazing. Like, it's a really beautiful looking movie. Like, the explosions, the fighting, maybe not the fighting, the explosions and what they're using in that, it looks really good. It's like a very well put together movie, just not very well thought through. So this is where we're going to now lead into the honest review of this movie. Alright, if you have no common sense and you've never had any sort of fight, if you don't know how to fight, if you're like basically a baby right now, this is the movie for you, because its stupidity will not offend you then. Now, I did watch the entire movie, that's a lie. I watched the entire movie and I was in disbelief at the absolute stupidity and lack of common sense that these superpowers, these intergalactic superpowers, just lacked in the year 10,000. And it makes a point of telling you it's the year 10,000. And when I saw that, I thought, hell, this is going to be pretty futuristic, until they pulled out their swords. Quick summary of the movie, it's basically medieval knights in a desert in the future. That's it. That's the basic summary of the movie. Like, you could basically summarize it as stupidity. Medieval knights in a futuristic setting in the desert. If they wanted to make this movie again, they could remake it and just make it back in medieval times, and it would make perfect sense. You'd get away with absolutely everything, and I wouldn't be criticising the movie at all. You'd be like, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, it makes sense. I do that too. Yeah, that works. But being in a futuristic setting where you've got warp drives and all these monstrous sort of technologies, FTL, like fast and light travel, stuff like that, and then you're carrying a sword around on your back, is just absolutely, it's like they're fighting like the samurai. It's just stupid. They don't even fight like the phalanx or Romans. They don't fight in like one solid unit. It's just stupidity. It's just like the samurai. It's just every man for himself on the battlefield with a sword. Anyway, let's get to it. So the setting is a desert. So for you, those of you who don't know what a desert is, it's fucking sandy, full of sand. You've seen a sandbox. Just imagine that, really fucking big. That's why the movie's called DUNE, I'm assuming anyway. That would probably be the most common sense answer to why the movie is called DUNE, because it's set in sand dunes. But then again, you know what, given the guy that wrote this obviously never even proofread his own script or anybody else anywhere to pick up on the absolute stupidity of the movie, it's probably called DUNE for another reason. And there's someone will tell me, I'm sure, in the comments. And basically it's against these two factions, okay? Well, three factions. But one gets wiped out and completely obliterated. So the first faction are the bad guys, and they're basically the cancer kids, right? They're all bald, they're all wearing these little nose things, and apart from the two, well, one really jack guy and one really fat guy, the two main protagonists of that faction, the rest are pretty hot. They're looking like they've seen better days. And it's basically them versus like the aqua people, like basically like the good guys, and it's got this guy in it who's an absolutely great actor. It's got the guy that did The King on Netflix, and he's an outstanding actor, amazing. It's even got this bird in it, and she was from, I think she's in The Foundation on Apple TV there. Great, no, that's a really good show as well. You like futuristic sci-fi sort of stuff, watch that. And the acting is really good. These guys really carry it. It's also got the massive buff guy in it as well. But he just looks like a jerk the whole time. He just acts like a dick. So I don't really care about him. Anyway, so you've got your two factions, right? The water people and the kids, and they're fighting over a planet of sand, right? Sand dunes, because the sand is where the salt is mined, and the salt is required to get through the star systems in the galaxies. I don't know, they're psychers or whatever you call them. I think of like Warhammer Warp Drive sort of stuff, but whatever these guys are, they require the salt to navigate a path through the cosmos, right? So the salts, or the spices, because they're spicy boys, are very expensive and very hard to come across, so they really need them, right? So, boom, there's your stage set. Two powerhouses needing this, one being the good guy, the gracious guy, going like, oh, I don't really want to take this, but I guess I'll do it. And then the big evil guy's like, oh, we want all the money, ha ha. And the Emperor, who's just another one that doesn't make any logical sense. Like, why doesn't the Emperor just take it and claim it for his own if he's worried about these two powers getting more money than him? Then why doesn't he just claim it himself, considering he had the power to kick one of them off in the first place? Anyway, you gotta watch the movie, it's just stupid. So that's sort of the setting. And then below these two guys, right, there's the Bedouin sort of guys, and they're on the sand planet. They're the sand kids, you know what I mean? And they're just fighting for, well, their planet's been invaded. You can understand why they're fighting. They're pissed off. I would be too. They're all absolute retards. Every faction is just stupid. And nobody has a military advisor, clearly. And you'll see why. I'm just going to run through basically the battle scenes and just how stupid it is, and we're going to cut it there, really. And there's an ambush getting laid. You can tell the sand people are all laying the ambush for the cancer kids, right? The cancer kids, they currently are in possession of the salt fields. These guys, so they're pissed off that their planet's getting mined for spice, and the cancer kids are treating them really badly because they've had a hard life themselves. It starts out, there's all lined out, they're all laying under their shamags and all sorts of stuff, and you're like, yes, word, I can get into this, you know what I mean? There's like, you can see a bloke with a futuristic jab and a few other things there, and you're like, yeah, nice, we're going to see some hectic action here. And then there's a big troop transport with some lead scouts in front of it, and they look like they're patrolling with what I thought initially were GATs, you know what I mean, guns, or at least lasers. Anyway, so that's what I initially thought. Next thing, it kicks off, boom, the jab guy fires, you start off with the biggest bang as you do, he kicks it off, and the troop transport gets obliterated virtually straight away, or the harvester. And the lead scouts for the cancer kids, they have no idea this even happened for some reason. Like, even though there's been huge explosions, the rockets clearly launched from directly in front of them as well. They've seen none of this going on. They're like, man. Yes. Their visual is just, maybe, you know, their visual range is about 3 meters apparently. And apparently their hearing's even worse as well. Again, why would you not have technology to have like binoculars? You're in the year 10,000, remember. Why wouldn't you have some sort of overlay on your helmets and that sort of stuff so you could pick up heat signatures, or, you know, maybe the desert's too bloody hot. Well, I don't know. I'm sure we can come up with something like heartbeat sensors. I don't know. But these guys are just people as well. They're all just people. So surely they're not really that hard to track. Anyway, so the lead scouts, after their troop transport's just been destroyed, they've got no idea that's going on. They're still just plodding along, not even watching where they're going. And the little sand kids, they pop up and just start knifing the hell out of them. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, very dangerous. You know, if that was me and I was initiating on a complex ambush, I would have had, you know, my jabs go off and then all the gunners open up and absolutely obliterate what's in front, and on the side I'd be trying to block off and have them cut in the kill fields, you know what I mean? That's where I'd want to fix and destroy them in the killing fields. And not then after I'm firing into their troop transports, also have my own boys pop up in the killing fields whilst an ambush is going off just to knife other guys because it looks cool. That's fucking stupid. And that's just the first, I noticed I was sitting there going, what? All right, I'll give it a go, you know? Anyway, we fast forward. You see they've got this technology of shielding, which is another one of my huge gripes, right? They've got these personal defense shields, like, I don't know, PDS we'll call them, personal defense shields. And they click it on their hands and the shield pops out over, you know, say 1 inch, 2 inches from their body. And what you would assume to be a force field or a shield that would stop absolutely anything from coming in. And if not absolutely anything, because obviously every armor has countermeasures to someone's measures, you know what I mean? So there's going to be something that can still eventually penetrate, get through, or, you know, they're going to have a way of taking that down. Technology, you know? But these shields don't even stop swords, which, what's the point of a shield? It doesn't even stop a blow dart. Now the king, right? The king of the good guys, the water people, he has a shield over him. He gets shot in the back with a dart, like a blow dart, and it burrows through and kills him. Like, that's their leader. Would he not have the most expensive fucking shield out of everyone? Like the top of the line shield. Guards with him. He's on a hostile planet, don't forget. But no, a simple doctor has taken him out and his entourage of guards. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Why do you even have a shield? What's the point of spending the money on the fucking shield? Where's the warp drives? Where's all this interstellar travel technology? And we don't even have a fucking shield that works? Okay, we're using blow fucking darts, sweet, and swords. That's fucking stupid. I need to get... So the point of, like, advancing in technology is also to close the skill gap of soldiers, right? Back in the day, you know, one knight may have been worth 20 peasant farmers because he can fight, he's been trained, he's got equipment, he's technologically advanced, and he's proficient in the use of that technology to kill. So therefore, versing an unarmed, untrained, or, you know, maybe not unarmed unless he cuts his arms off, but a fairly untrained sort of person, you would expect him to win. Thus then inventions, weapons, ballistic weapons that fire bullets and really narrows that skill gap. Next thing, the 5-year-old that got kicked away by the knight because he's a retard running in with a dagger and the old mate's in full plate armour, all of a sudden he becomes effective with an AK because he's just as effective as, maybe not just as effective, but he can still let shots off that kill anybody as well. So, that skill gap really closes. And to me, they've gone 10,000 years or 8,000 years in the future now, and then just widened, just made their skill gap it's just stupid. Everything about this movie is stupid. So these guys, the Emperor's finest, have been brought in to back up the cancer kids when they're fighting against the water boys on the sand dude's planet, right? Yeah, the Emperor's Hellblades. They dropped 3 battalions of Hellblades in. Now, you see this massive armada surround the planet, and I'm like, oh, they're going to glass these bitches hard. Nope. Troop transports drop out. I'm like, all right, we're going for a bit more, tactically, we're going to insert, and we're going to try to, we obviously need stuff there, and we're going to weed them all out that way. Okay, cool, but no opening bombardment, nothing like that. No taking down of defences except for the one doctor that killed the king took out the communications array because there was only one of them apparently, because you rely solely on one phone. Oh no, we're fucked now. He's cut me phone line. Don't you have fucking ships? Where was your early warnings up there anyway? Like your satellites and shit anyway. So this armada of the cancer kids, they've come back because they're pissed. They want their spicy boys. They want their spice in the spice fields, you know what I mean? They're pissed. So they've come back and they're out for revenge. They're dropping all these troop transports down. And next thing, all the water boys, they've all come out and they're like, oh, we're under attack. Oh, we better hop in our stupid-looking fucking dragonflies for fucking, like, planes. Like, the wing, it doesn't even make sense. You wouldn't even use that if you're that advanced either. Like, the wingspan on this thing completely avoids it to be able to get into anywhere tight and narrow. The opening these things need to take off. And there's 6 wings, you lose 1, you're going straight down. Like, it's all just stupid. No one thought this through. Whoever wrote this just needs to be smacked in the face. And then put through IMTs or something like that. Anyway. So they're dropping all these troop transports in and they're all landing, and what I'm expecting then is going to break out because finally the water boys have clued on that all these troop transports are dropping down, and they've got these big cannons up the top, and they've started the yak guns and a few of these troop transports, boom, 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 they're getting whacked, you know what I mean? And a few of the troop transports start returning fire as well. I'm like, all right, enough of these fucking swords, here we go, shit's about to get fucking hectic, Boom, these guys land. Well, not only, boom, the enemy land, right, or the bad guys, they land, and they're all fanning out, they're running out with their swords and shit. I'm like, one machine gunner right now, even just an old Vickers gun would fuck your day. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the defenders are now caught out in the open because they've raced out their ships. Fair enough, they want to get them all off the ground, like I can understand that. And then they've run back to defend like their castle, their keep, you know what I mean? And instead of then walling it off or anything like that, and then forcing a numerically superior force to come through a very narrow way where you can hold them, even with having vastly less numbers, you can still hold them because you have superior fighters. And if you all work together as one, you can hold that line relatively well. Well, no, we don't even worry about that either. So we don't even have like phalanx or Roman tactics or anything going on here. It's like full on just like they think they're samurais, like futuristic dirt samurais. I don't know, they're all shit as well. Except for Jason Momoa. Apparently he's like just fucking unbeatable until he's killed. So he's not really that unbeatable. Anyway, they're all landing, and these guys, instead of holding like an easily fortified and well defendable position, they decide to hold a staircase. It's about 5 stairs long in the open of the desert, virtually. And I'm like, oh, that's a fucking shit place to defend. You guys are going to get outflanked really easily there. What happens? They get fucking outflanked and butchered, and their shields do nothing. What the fuck is the point of their shields? It's just absolutely preposterous. Like, old mate swings, boom, cuts his head off. Like, don't you have a shield? Don't you have a fucking shield? Okay, well, if that shield doesn't work, why don't we try using one of your medieval ones? Because you're using fucking swords anyway. That would work better too. But no, they don't even try that. One gun would have just ripped everybody apart, but they don't. They don't use a weapon at all through virtually any part of it except for near the end where the Aqua Boys have absolutely been wiped out because they're just as retarded as the Cancer Kids. And the Cancer Kids are just smashing them. And everyone's just getting slaughtered by knives and swords, and no one pulls out a gun except for this one guy at the very end. He points it at the Bedouin guys, and he's like, "Don't kill my man," with his little pistol. And it looked like a songbird sort of a pistol, like a one shot anyway, because he had to crank it back. Like, and I'm like, good luck with that one, bro. But still, Would have been better than a sword the whole time. Like, they don't even fight as one unit. They're just spread out from arsehole to breakfast. Like, your sergeant would be fucking pissed. Anyway, well, maybe they're at a grenade range, but no one's using fucking grenades, you know what I mean? Like, so there goes that. It's just, the one weapon I saw, right, when Jason Momoa was defending in a tight hallway, so he had a bit of tactical nous to him because he decides, well, there's shitload of these Hellblades about to come through this one door. I'll close the door behind me and let the king escape because I'm a fucking madman, and I'll hold these guys in this narrow hallway where their numbers virtually count for nothing. Anyway, this laser cutter comes through and shoots straight through both doors and shit like that, and everybody's like, oh my god, the fucking laser cutter! And it clearly cuts everything in half. And as they cut through and there's Jason Momoa there, they go, and throw it down. Like, I would have been like, fuck you, buddy. Zap, 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 zap. And just Swiss cheese the dickhead. But that didn't happen either. Anyway, so they basically throw down their little thing and then line up one at a time to take him on. When clearly you could fit like, you know, 6 guys, you know, 6 deep in that hallway and just push him back and using any sort of defense. Like, if you're all going at him at once, even with a sword, I'm not fucking sword trained, but if you all shark pit this guy straight up, he's going to take a swing at one of you, you might lose one, and the rest are going to jump him real quick. Now, again, I'm not sword trained, but I've been in a few fights, and I know once they're letting them go, and you're returning fire with others, and if you're outnumbering that one dude, and chances are you're going to win. Sheer weight of numbers will take an individual down. It's simple fucking maths. Anyway, guys, that's the review of DUNE, the movie. DUNE. Yeah, look, go watch it, hey? Go waste some money. Seriously, wait for it to come out on video. Wait for it to come out on Netflix somewhere else. Don't waste your money. It's unless like you just want to see the graphics. Graphics again, absolutely fantastic. But if you're going because you want to see massive gun battles, rockets, shit like that, don't bother. There's none of that. And there's no common sense in it. If you're anything just tactically minded, you don't care, and you do care that, like, you know, someone's at least semi-intelligent and wants to live, this movie will piss you off really badly. But if you don't give a fuck and you're probably just like a female or something like that, just go watch it. You don't really care. You probably don't even know anyway. Go watch it. Anyway, that's me.